Hello, beautiful people. It's me, Arden Lee. I wanted to come on and chat to you a bit tonight because I wanted to share a little bit about the story behind the last video that I uploaded. I don't know if you got a chance to check it out, but it's a music video, and it's for my latest collaboration between my solo project, Arden and the Wolves, and a band called Giant Monsters on the Horizon, and it is called Secret or a Lie. And I wrote it specifically as a hypersigil, as an act of narrative magic in order to divine whether a person that I was involved with at the time was in integrity with their own relationship agreements and the hilarity that ensued afterwards. And I want to share this because for me, this is such a really good example of how narrative magic for me in my own life and in my own practice has been so empowering. Whereas previously, before discovering this practice, I might have felt like I was at the mercy of other people's behavior or of external circumstances that I didn't have any control over. And what narrative magic has really allowed me to do is that it has afforded me a strong degree of agency over the role or the perspective that I inhabit in any given situation, so that I can make sure that not only am I acting in alignment with my own values and my integrity, but that also I can, to a certain degree, influence external events such that I can do things such as, in this situation, for example, uncover the truth that is at the root of a situation, so that I can make my next moves from a place of knowledge and alignment, and so that I can hopefully influence events so that they unfold for, hopefully the highest good of everyone involved, and definitely so that they create like the minimal amount of chaos and havoc possible in my own life, right? So before I tell that story though, of course, I want to let you guys know that I am currently enrolling for the next round of my course in narrative magic. It is called Myths and Magic, Changing Your Life Through Story. And it's a course in narrative magic and the art of the hypersigil, and using archetypal invocation techniques specifically for personal growth and transformation. And it's a really lovely, small, intimate container, and every participant picks one archetype to work with for the duration of the course, the 4 weeks. So the course is about a month long, and spending that month with this one energy in order to anchor it into our field so that we can literally choose who we are in the world, right? We choose the energies that we embody as we walk through the world. And whereas a lot of other personal growth work can often be, it can feel heavy, or it can feel like we're digging up our past traumas to, divine where they imprinted us, and to repattern those. With things like narrative and archetypal magic, you can actually shift clusters of patterns all at once, because you're bringing in this energy of archetype and of character, so that you're bringing on their qualities, which can actually like help you shift those multiple patterns in ways that are really fun, and playful and lighthearted. So we make vision boards, we make playlists, there's guided meditations, it's really a fun energy. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in, go ahead and look below. I put a little bit in the description where you can find more information, and of course reach out to me if it sounds like something that you're interested in, and we'll chat. And again, we begin April 23rd. So I'm really excited about that. Check it out if it is calling to you, and let me know if it is. So anyway, so this story, so this song that I wrote, let me just start it off by saying, maybe like don't lie to a person who literally tells you they're a magical practitioner as they're like driving you to their house, right? So the story behind this is over the summer, last summer, I met up with this musician who was touring through Los Angeles, where I live, and we met up. We known each other online, so we met up just to like talk shop, and this is as colleagues or whatever, and we ended up kind of hitting it off. And he ended up needing a place to stay on his last night of the tour. So, so of course I was like, sure, you know, come stay with me. Like, of course, you know, there was chemistry between us. So, so it was fun. And sure enough, you know, we ended up hooking up, and like, it was great. It was really fun. And he flew back the next day, and I didn't have any, like, I'm like, we live far away from one another. So I didn't have any designs that it was going to be any more than what it was. But, you know, but naturally we stayed friends, and we had plans to, we started making plans to work on a track together, right? So far, like, everything was really great and really positive. And then a few days after he got back home, things started turning a little bit shady. There was like, I had asked him, I checked in with him if I could post a couple photos that we had taken, and his response was that they looked too romantic, and that he didn't want to post about his personal life online, right? And so I was like, okay, first of all, like, who in their right mind does not want to be seen online with me in a romantic capacity, A, right? Like, there had to be something up with that. And then B, you know, like, that whole, oh, I don't post about my personal life online, that really felt, that was like a red flag. I was like, I don't know, that sounds like you're hiding something, right? But I mean, what did I know? It could have been that, like, maybe he was non-monogamous, you know, and maybe he had like a special dispensation for tour hookups that would make it okay. Or, you know, maybe he was like dating multiple people, and maybe he wasn't breaking a commitment to anyone, but maybe he just was keeping everybody separate. And, you know, that's might not be like the best way of going about dating multiple people. Like, I think honesty and transparency is the best policy, but, you know, but you wouldn't actually be breaking an agreement that you did make. So I guess it'd be, you know, it'd be certainly better, right? But yeah, I did a little scouring on his profile, and I found evidence of what a person who looked like a girlfriend, right? I was like, oh, there's some, you know, you look at a photo of people, you're like, there's some girlfriendy energy in this photo. So, so sure enough, I had been sent this track by Vinny from Giant Monsters on the Horizon, and I was toplining it, right? Toplining is to write the melody and the lyric. So I wrote the chorus of the song Secret or a Lie. It's like, my, secret or a lie, do I have it right? You know, did I have a hand in the perfect crime, bathed in the light, stripped down to your dark side, right? So it's, the lyrics are very almost taunting, right? And it's about getting to the bottom of a situation and figuring out exactly what's going on, and specifically shedding light, right? Shedding illumination on what a person is keeping hidden, right? Their dark side, the thing that they don't want you to see. So I wrote that, and it had to have been, I think it was like 4 days, maybe. I think it was like 4 days that it took before he messaged me out of the blue, and basically said, hey, so there's something that's been like weighing on my mind heavily, and, you know, I do actually have someone else back home, and, you know, I feel really bad about it at this point, but I didn't expect that you and I would remain friends. And which by the way, like, what an awful thing to say to someone, like, oh, I thought I was just gonna like hook up with you and forget about you. Like, really? Right? Like, I didn't think we were gonna remain friends. And now we're like working on this track together. So I just wanted to make sure that I'm upfront about this before we get in any deeper. You know, because I have respect for you, and I have respect for her, and also do you though, bro? Like, do you, like, you know, goodness, like, if that's your definition of respect, oh my gosh, right? And yeah, and so sure enough, he fessed up, and I was really hoping that it would be like a teachable moment for him, you know, because again, I wasn't expecting anything to continue happening between us romantically, so I wasn't upset about that at all. But I was like, all right, bro, like, okay, I'm not mad. First of all, I pretty much already knew, but I did say, but I was like, I do have some questions, you know, because I did go and I looked through your profile, and I just get the sense that through, you know, some of your dating history that I saw now that I went back and looked, you know, it looks to me and correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks to me like you are connecting with people who aren't really capable of meeting you in your wholeness, right? And the people who seem great, and who might be compatible with other people to really meet them there, right? But it seems like you have this pattern of choosing people who are not really able to fully see you or meet you or understand what it is that you do and what you're passionate about. So yeah, like I got some questions about that, because of course, if you meet someone like me who's a colleague and we're talking shop and we have a lot of the same things in common and we're on this level together, then yeah, like of course you're going to be drawn to something like that. But why do you feel apparently that you can't find that somewhere else, right? Like you can't find that in your own relationship. So I kind of want to know what what's up with that. And I was hoping, like I said, I was hoping he was going to go to therapy and be like, oh, geez, yeah, I got myself into this situation. What have I done? But that's not what happened. Instead, he shut down. He sort of stopped, after that conversation. He kind of dropped off in communication a bit. And I had to check in and be like, hey, bro, like, how's our track coming? Like, how are we doing? He's like, oh, I decided to put it off till December. And I was like, what? Right? And that's when I lost it. That's when I felt really just disrespected by that. So at that point, that's when I wrote that that big load of shadow work into verse 2, right? That now you're all alone and the guilt is going to haunt your mind and, all that jazz. But anyway, for me, this is again, it's so important to me that the way that I'm showing up in a situation is that even if someone else drags me into their own drama without my consent, even if someone hurts me or betrays me by essentially being intimate with me in a way that did not honor my full and informed consent because there were other circumstances, such as a broken relationship agreement that I was not privy to and that I would not have participated in enabling if I had known. But because I am a practitioner of narrative magic, because I now have the ability to step aside from a situation and decide in a way that is intentional and purposeful how I myself am going to show up in that situation and what I want to happen so that I can remain in alignment to the truth of my own values. He definitely still follows me online. So I'm pretty sure that if he hasn't seen it already, he's going to at some point. And what I really want for him, and what I really hope happens as a result of this, is that he sees the music video and the post that I made about it, and maybe even this video as well, and knows that really, what he did was not okay. And certainly in the post that I made about the video online on my Facebook, etc., certainly all of that has been corroborated in the comments. And I'm not going to name names because, again, I really hope he does a learn in private on his own. I mean, it's flat out cheating, right? It is flat out cheating and lying and breaking agreements. Like it's 2023. Like this should be obvious, right? This should be like kindergarten level relating stuff that we hopefully learned and got over when we were in our 20s. So, and he's a lot older than that. So, so I really hope he does learn from this. But that is, again, that is why I find narrative magic to be such an important practice in my own life. And rather than like before, I would have been really bummed. I would have internalized it. I would have been like, what did I do wrong? Clearly I'm not good enough. Or, this person is choosing this other person over me. And now I'm like, no, it's literally trauma splitting. Like it's literally kind of living a double life and hiding one thing. And I was like, that has nothing to do with me whatsoever. That is someone being out of their own alignment. So how can I show up in that situation in my own integrity and effect change that I want to be positive? So if he knows what's good for him, he will do a learn from this situation. I hope that he is taking all of his synthesizer budget and that he's spending it on therapy now, right? Because you are going to end up externalizing the load of your undone inner work onto the women in your life, both personal and professional, in ways that are really not cool and not fair to them. So anyway, y'all, narrative magic, magic works, and it's a lovely thing when it does. Thanks again, and maybe I'll see some of you in Myths and Magic. Again, we start April 23rd. Everyone have a wonderful time till then, and thanks for watching.